John 20:30 through 31 says, "Therefore many other signs Jesus also performed in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these have been written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing in him you may have life in his name." Well, if you're joining us in reading through the 60-day reading plan, today's reading is John chapter 20, and I encourage you to read that passage. Why is it that someone would write these things down? In today's society, why do we take pictures? Why do we tell stories? And why do we save things to give to our children? We give them these things and we save these things so that we might have a record and a remembrance of what has occurred in our lives. Well, that's exactly why John wrote the gospel. He wrote it so that there would be a record. He wrote it so that the people would see the truth. He wrote it so that mankind would see a resurrected Christ, and by believing, those would come to a relationship with God. What are we leaving behind to tell others of our relationship with God through Christ? What kind of legacy will we leave to others? Some of the technology we have today is removing some of the ways that we used to leave our legacy. Very few people write letters today. Very few people learn the stories of their parents and grandparents and even great-grandparents. In our society today, we have lost a sense of history. Now, when Tony and my children were growing up, they had as an assignment in one of the grades in elementary school that they would be given a task of doing some kind of family tree. And many of their classmates could go back to their grandparents, but then there was no more information. The parents had lost touch with their legacy. John wrote his gospel so that we can go back in time when our children ask us why we believe what we believe. We should be able to recount Christ's story and how it affected our lives and affects our lives today. If we're not doing that, we're not leaving our legacy. We are cheating our children out of some history that they should have to impact their lives. What is your legacy of Christ? Why do you believe what you believe? Can you tell the story so that others will remember it?